Yo, what's up, guys? So, if you watch my stream a lot, you might have noticed, or even if you watch it a little bit, you might have noticed that I listen to a lot of metal music. A lot of people will complain about it, saying it's like the devil's music, or that I'm like an emo kid, or whatever. Uh, I get complaints about it a lot. But I mean, metal is like my favorite genre. I grew up listening to like post-hardcore and stuff like that. Nowadays, I listen to like more mature, melodic, or progressive stuff. Uh, but I also have a lot of people that really enjoy the music I play, and recently I've been getting requested to do like a video on my favorite bands or something because I have a list of it, and I also have playlists online. But I feel like it's hard to go in depth on my favorite bands just through typing, so I thought I'd just make a short video going over some of my favorite bands for those of you that are interested. I know a lot of you guys won't give a fuck about this video, but there are some people that always ask what my favorite bands are and why I like them. Some people that already like metal are curious, and also those that are trying to get into it as well. Um, so yeah, that's what this video is for. So I'm gonna pop open my iTunes and go over some of my favorite bands for you guys. So I grew up listening to a lot of post-hardcore and metalcore. Those are my favorite, or were my favorite genres. This past year and a half, though, I've been really getting into like progressive metalcore, and like gent type stuff. You guys might have heard. It's the scene is growing a lot within that community. So some of my favorite bands, progressive metalcore bands, would have to be number one, Era. This is by far my favorite band. Uh, there's been no other band that tops this for me for the past 2 years now. Their album Augment is just fucking perfection, man. If you guys like metal or metalcore music, you should check this out. They write amazing poetic lyrics that are really deep. Some of them are even like spiritual. If you guys watch my stream, you guys know that I meditate every day and stuff like that. So being able to relate to it on that level is really special to me. Um, heavy breakdowns, but not just generic metalcore breakdowns. I mean, there it has metalcore vibes to it, but it's a very technical album. Like there's two guitarists, Jesse Cash and Alan Rigdon, and they synergize their guitars really well together, and it's just super melodic and technical, very brutal at times, but also really beautiful too, just depending on what song you listen to, or what part of the song you're listening to. Just fucking masterpiece of an album. Really my favorite progressive metalcore album. My favorite tracks now would have to be Rebirth and Dementia. The thing about this album is like every few months my favorite song changes on the album. Like that's how you know it's a quality album, because a lot of the songs just take more time to grow on you, and the more you listen to it, I feel like I hear new little nuances and things in the songs that just come out the more I listen to it. So it has a lot of replay value. Once again, Rebirth and Dementia. You got Dementia oh my god, man. This song is structured so amazingly, and like there's two solos in the song too, so you should check it out. I would recommend you start off with Hybrid Earth though, if you're new to them. I mean, but the whole album is just amazing. Even Alpha Seed's good, Dreamwalkers. They also have another album called Impulse. The Augment came out in 2013. Impulse came out in 2011, which is really good as well. And then more recently in 2016, they released an album called Drift. The lineup has changed a lot since their older stuff. They have a new screamer vocalist, and they lost a guitarist as well. Their sound has changed immensely, in my opinion. Drift is a little softer. Oh yeah, by the way, they have clean vocals as well, so it's screaming and clean vocals. Jesse Cash does the clean vocals for this band. He has more of like a high range, high pitch type of style, which I really like. It's like reminiscent of like the Seosin days, Circa Survive, Secret and Whisper, if you guys know those bands. In Drift, he really brings those qualities out even more. It's a little softer, but I feel like every album his clean vocals just get better and better, even live as well. So I haven't seen them live in like a year though. I really would love to hear Drift live. Favorite songs on Drift would probably have to be The Hypnotist and Irreversible. So you guys should check those out. Really, Era is my favorite band. I listen to them so much. Especially lately, I've been really getting into Impulse too. But yeah, really, if you're gonna listen to them, I would say focus a lot on the melodic guitar aspects and also read the lyrics too. Next up, my second favorite, or I don't know, it's hard to list these in order because I go in and out of liking certain bands. You know what I mean? But anyways, my another band I really like is Northlane. This is a Australian metalcore band. Their first LP was in 2011 with Discoveries. Their latest album is Node, 2015. It's funny actually, I couldn't really get into Northlane for such a long time. I knew of them since 2013, but I don't know, it just kind of sounded like noise to me. I couldn't really get into their music. Every song kind of sounded the same or repetitive to me. But when Node came out, it really caught my attention. I think, yeah, the first song I heard from Node was the Rot single, which was alright, the first listen. And then I heard Leech when it came out, like right as the album was releasing on YouTube. And I instantly fell in love. It grabbed me really quick. So I went out and purchased the album. And yeah, and then for a few months I really liked listening to this album. I listened to it every day during the summer of 2015. Awesome album. But then, because I liked it so much, I decided to go back and give their older stuff a try, like Singularity, give it another chance. Same with Discoveries. And it's weird because I listened to Singularity a few more times. It's pretty heavy. It's a heavy album. It has a different vocalist. But then I fucking fell in love with Singularity. This album goes hard, man. The single for this album is Quantum Flux. Beautiful song, dude. Like, beautiful, beautiful song. I'm just such a fan of heavy music that also has chill elements to it too. Just the contrast to it just really gets me emotionally. And then about a year of listening to Node and Singularity, I went back and listened to Discoveries. And now, ironically, it's my favorite Northlane album. This shit is fucking whack, dude. Nothing pumps me up as much as Discoveries the album does. Nothing. No other song, no other band. This album just makes me... I'll fucking listen to this in the kitchen while I make my juice and shit. I'll mosh in the fucking kitchen myself while I blast this shit with my headphones. Like, I wish I could see these songs live. But I mean, I'm sure they don't really play these songs live anymore except for Dispossession because that's their single. But yeah, actually, I did a guitar cover of Abra Semente. If you guys didn't check it out, I did it a few months ago. But yeah, Northlane's lyrics back when Adrian was in the band, they're also really deep and spiritual, and they just talk about like everyday struggles and like transcending dimensions and shit, and like also very aspiring lyrics, very motivational lyrics that are positive, that really help drive me to reach for my goals. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but really, if you listen to the album, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, Northlane is definitely up there on my list of favorite bands. Another band that's similar to Northlane is Invent Animate. They're pretty heavy too, metalcore. Their latest album, Still World, that came out this year, it's my favorite album from them. Also very heavy, but ambient. Yeah, these two bands have like really, I mean, it's not just your basic metalcore. Like Invent Animate, they really step it up a notch, and they have kind of like weird strumming patterns and shit, which might be hard to follow on first listen, but the more and more you listen to it, you really fall in love. And these guys also use a little bit of clean vocals as well. You might be seeing a pattern here. Another band I like, Veil of Maya. These guys used to be kind of like deathcore-ish, but recently they released an album called Matriarch, which is more like progressive metalcore. Also really, really, really good. My favorite songs on this album probably have to be 350, and it was Lisbeth and Aries, but I don't know. It's changing all the time too, man. On this album, I think the song names on this album are like female characters from like video games and books and stories and stuff like that, which is a pretty cool concept in my opinion. Their older stuff is this is a really technical band. Mark Okubu, I think that's how you say his name. He's the guitarist for the band. He's like super fucking talented. He really brings a vibe to the band that I don't really hear in any other band. So check that out as well. Trying to think of what else I listen to a lot. You go to my plays up here. Let's see my most played songs. Okay, Era, obviously that's at almost 1,000 plays now. Rebirth. Yeah, Volumes is good too. Periphery, great progressive metal band. Back when I used to listen to more metalcore, it'd be like The Devil Wears Prada. Volumes is good too. The album No Sleep by them and Via, really good shit. Growing up, I used to listen to a lot of Under Oath. Their two albums, They're Only Chasing Safety and Define the Great Line. Those were I just grew up listening to those albums. They unfortunately broke up a few years ago, but they actually did like a reunion tour earlier this year. So I live in Canada, but I flew down to Seattle to see them live because it was like a one in a lifetime opportunity. They played Define the Great Line and They're Only Chasing Safety in its entirety, and it was one of the best fucking shows I've ever been to. Some of my favorite songs on the album, mainly their singles and popular ones: Reinventing Your Exit, Down Set Go. And up here, You're Ever So Inviting, Writing on the Walls, Moving for the Sake of Motion. I wish I could play these songs for you guys right now, but my video is gonna get flagged for copyright, so I can't. But yeah, a lot of other bands like Intervals. I covered Automaton on guitar too. You can look it up. Pretty hard song. It took me a long time to learn it, but really proud of covering that one. The solo is pretty complicated too. But yeah, I mean, for metalcore, progressive metal, those are definitely my favorites. I grew up listening to Silverstein a lot too. That's post-hardcore. Bring Me the Horizon is pretty good too. If that shit's too heavy for you, Bring Me the Horizon is like metalcore as well. But their latest album, That's the Spirit, is more like electronic rock. It's like it's more poppy, I guess, more like mainstream. Like everyone says that they sold out, but actually I really like That's the Spirit too. It's a unique album. It makes me feel a way no other album does. So I'll give them that, and I'll listen to it from time to time. It's nice background music while I'm just like chilling and streaming or doing battlegrounds or grinding. Sempiternal is good too. This is more metalcore. Their first album ever in 2006, I think. Yeah, 2006 was deathcore. It's like a completely different band almost. But I also enjoy listening to Count Your Blessings sometimes. Aside from that, I also listen to a lot of progressive rock. Like I'm just really into the progressive train lately. For progressive rock, some of my favorite bands. Here, one I really have been digging these past 2 years is Chon. The album Grow by Chon. It's instrumental progressive rock, so there's no vocals, there's no singing. Actually, there's 2 songs that have singing, I lied. But for the most part, it's just instrumentals. And there's 2 guitars in the album, and one comes out the left ear, one comes out the right ear. And if you listen to this shit with headphones on or like surround sound speakers, fucking, it's a trip listening to this, man. I wish I still smoke weed just to listen to this album high. It's like the way the 2 guitars play and intertwine together, left and right. It's just like what, like it's just ear candy. It's pure ear candy. These guys are so fucking talented. I want to see them live once. I just that's my dream. It's just chill music too. It's not like heavy metal shit like that, like has screaming. It's very chill. The guitar tone is very clean. Just nice music to listen to. I mean, to fully appreciate it, I'd suggest you actually listen to it in its entirety and like have your full 100% attention on it, just because there's so many little things that you'll miss if you don't really fully put your attention on it. Like, to fully appreciate it, you should, but it's nice to also listen to. I'll pull it out once in a while I read a book or something, just to have in the background, or while I'm driving on a nice sunny day. It's one of my favorite instrumental albums for sure. Polyphia is also really good too. Also a instrumental band. They got like 2 albums now, I think, Muse and Renaissance. Circa Survive's an amazing progressive rock band. Anthony Green's their vocalist. He also has a very high-pitched voice, who actually inspired Jesse Cash from Era, one of his inspirations. But yeah, they've been going on for a pretty long time. I like all their albums. But yeah, also I've been really liking Strawberry Girls too. These guys just released another new album, which I haven't listened to yet, but American Graffiti, great album. My favorites on that one are Spanish Bay and probably Overrated. But yeah, for the most part, that's just what I've been listening to this past year. Sometimes I'll listen to like indie pop even. More chill stuff. Just depends what I'm in the mood for, right? Like indie pop. My favorite indie pop album. I don't listen to much indie pop, but it probably has to be the self-titled album by the XX, which came out in 2009. This is a great album, really chill. And I listen to a little bit of indie rock. I mean, my favorite indie rock album is still The Killer's Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuss. I kind of grew up listening to this album too, so has a special place in my heart. I'm trying to get into more indie rock though, because I really like the genre. So if you guys have any recommendations, I would appreciate it in the comments below. But yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite genres are and favorite bands. I'm actually really curious to know what kind of music taste my viewer base has. I know a lot of you guys hate metal, but also a lot of you guys like it too. So I'm really curious actually. So let's discuss music in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you understand my taste a little better now. I know you guys were really curious. But yeah, those are my favorites. Sorry if I missed anything. I can answer questions in the chat. But yeah, go fucking listen to these bands. Like, this shit will change your fucking life.